Hey, what up? It's Christian. I'm going to be critiquing myself in PvP once again, as well as giving you tips on how not to do certain bad habits that I've found myself doing. It's an all Gohan team versus an all Gogeta team, so this is going to be pretty interesting right here. Now, if you haven't noticed, one of the multiple ways I start off a match is I either glide up and use a strike, I glide back. That pretty much only happens when I'm going up against a full-on Zenkai team. All 6 units are Zenkais. That's when I'm going to be gliding back, turtling, waiting for them to attack. You can see right here, I had pretty good patience, waiting for him to sidestep. Then I went for the attack. Right there, I knew he was going to switch out. I wanted to drop the combo, but I just didn't wait long enough for it to actually drop. So that kind of sucked a little bit, but it's whatever. With Gogeta here, he's going to be able to restore that Vantage gauge already. I popped the main right now. Surprisingly, he decided to switch into LF Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So that's like a really, really big W. You always want to have patience as well. Like right here, I could have, dodged that, but I just took the tackle. Especially with me having type advantage, I didn't really just, want to do anything. And here's another thing, that green. The reason why I got it off is because I always have my guard up. I'm never like, oh, okay, I'm just going to wait for the 10 timer count so both of my battle members can be tagged in again. I'm going to glide back and hope that he doesn't do anything. Now, you always have to stay on your guard, bro. You can't be relaxing and charge your key up forever. You have to have your guard up, but anticipate an attack, right? Anticipate an attack, keep your guard up. You don't want to be slouching with your finger. You want to have it up on the screen, ready to go. Like you want to have it 0.000000000.1 milliliters away from the screen. That's how close you want to have your finger. It's like right then and there, like some oxygen molecules up on Mount Everest. I wait right there. If I had a little bit more patience, I would have been able to get it. And that's one of the biggest things here in PvP. You have to have patience. If you don't have patience, your enemies are always going to be able to catch you off on your sidestep, and you're never going to be able to catch your opponent off on their sidesteps. Because if you vanish your opponent's attack, or your opponent vanishes your blast attack from long range, right? You don't want to go for a sidestep immediately, because by now, everyone pretty much knows I want to have patience. Right when I vanish their attack, I'm going to want to wait for them. That's one thing that you'll learn yourself once you play PvP for like 2 months. Especially if you've been playing it for a while, you know by now that there are players like that where they can wait for a really long time. Either that or they just have really fast reflexes, so they can, just vanish as soon as they see the exclamation point. Now right here, what I'm trying to do is get the LF with Gogeta right now. And I waited a little bit too long right there on that side step, but then I caught him with us going into a strike clash. He ends up winning, so I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen here? Is he going to be able to take him out? Yes, he does actually take him out, so no longer am I going to be able to get the LF. I didn't want to risk it either, because this guy, just look at how much damage he's doing. Look at how much damage he's doing. Whenever you're going up against the last man standing unit, you always want to sacrifice the character that has the least amount of HP. You don't want them getting into a combo. You don't want them at all. I wait for the side step, but I waited too long. As in, the animation fully played out, so then he could go for the rush. I do end up guessing it, which is obviously good. I go for the blast here. He vanishes, not surprised at all. I go for a blast again. He pops the green. He goes for a blast. I go for the strike. We clash. 1, 2, 3, boom. And I win. So I end up winning. Push him back. I go for my Rising Rush. At this point, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if mine gets a guess either. Right? A guess for a guess. I'm not going to be hoping that this is going to land. Boom. It does end up landing though. I would never want to rely on Rising Rush. Never hope that that's going to be your key out. You can't be relying on RNG on chance to help you win the game. Right here we have a powerful opponent team. This guy's got Cooler, Broly, and the new LF full power Frieza. That dude's actually trash though. His kit's good, but his stats are doggy doo-doo, dog. Honestly. How did you even... I bet $10,000 right now You didn't even summon for him. Unless you have $10 billion, you're not going to be summoning for this dude because he's complete, utter doggy doo-doo. Hey, man, if you don't main Fusion Warriors, you're missing out, dog. Come on. Come on. So I go for the green. I destroy his cards. Coming in right here. Go for the strike. Boom. Take him out. Now, I can kind of sit comfortably a little bit, but that's where I mess up, right? I'm gliding back. I'm not doing what I said. And that's one thing about bad habits. Even though you point them out, when you're put into that situation, when you're doing an actual PvP match, it's different. Because obviously you're like, oh, I got to win. I got to have patience, remain on my guard. I can't be messing up. And then you end up going back to your bad habit. So that's one thing you have to do. Acknowledge that you have the bad habit in PvP, whether it be sidestepping as soon as the battle starts, going for a tackle again and again, and you keep on seeing that they just cancel it out by going for a strike or a blast. You just need to always have your finger ready to swipe an attack as quick as possible. You always want to be ready for that. So right here, he forfeits because I guessed a rush. I like that. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta looking crispy. Then we have this guy using God Key. Kasai. His name is Kasai. We have Green Vardos, UI Sign, as well as Goku. Now, he did the same thing I did in the previous match right here, where I glided back and then I caught him in a tackle. So you don't really want to do that too much. If you can't react fast, you don't want to do that. What I do recommend, though, is once you finish the combo like this guy right here, he's going into a combo with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. What I would do, instead of just standing in front of me and charging ki, I would just glide back to mid-range. Or not glide back, float back, Drag your finger down slowly back to mid-range. That's better than simply charging in front of your opponent and then you having to react super quickly because they're right in front of you, just like this with Vardos in front of Gogeta Blue. You don't really want to do that. So I have Blast Armor on my ultimate, so I'm going to stay in. I end up dodging what Vardos throws here, wait for the sidestep. I do get it, but only because the player right here went for another attack, or I think a swipe forward. If they went for another sidestep, would have dodged it. Tags into Super Saiyan Blue Goku to try to tank this. Does end up tanking it pretty well. Brings him down to 50% health. Pops to green. Brings him back to green health. Pops to main. Right here, I end up swiping, which I mess up right there. That is, again, another example of having patience. It's so difficult to master it. If I'd say that's one of the most difficult things to master. It's easier to master charge stepping, swiping, the usual combos you see myself, Garesh, Ryuden, do go. It's easier to master that stuff than having patience, because having patience also ties into your reflexes. Because if you're swiping way too fast, anticipating an attack, you're gonna get caught off guard. But if you have fast reflexes, but your guard isn't up, you're not going to be able to vanish those attacks. So those two things tie into each other very heavily. Having patience, keeping your guard up, fast reflexes. So you want to try to work on your reflexes pretty much by, I don't really know, dog. I don't really know the best way you could work on them. Just play PvP. It'll just naturally come like that. So pops to main. I accidentally pressed the Rising Rush button right here. I accidentally press it, but I just move on with it. It's whatever. I'm like, watch me get guessed. Watch me get guessed, but I don't end up getting guessed here. So it's all cool. We got Vegito, Gogeta, and Gogeta. 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 I end up messing up. I wanted to go for a sidestep, but then I ended up touching that strike right there. Once again, I stopped the combo right here. I'm like, all right, I'm going to nullify type advantage. Then I'll go for a blast attack. Boom. Right. I go for it immediately because I knew he was going to tag into Vardos. I knew it. I was like, bro, there's no way you're not going to tag into Vardos. You're going to try to destroy all my cards. He does end up tagging into Vardos. So I'm like, hey, it was for naught. It was for naught. So he ends up waiting, I guess, for a second sidestep, which is why he didn't go anything for the first one. He ends up dodging right away. At this point, I already won. It's just a matter of him, just stalling for time. He used his rush. I used mine. He doesn't have his ultimate anymore. He has his unique gauge, but that's it. He doesn't have anything left. So switch out to Vegito. I'm like, I'm just going to make him vanish, right? But I actually do end up getting the green card off. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to use a blast, force him to vanish. Boom, he ends up vanishing. It's a guaranteed W. But he uses a green card. But dude, it's over. It's over. Hey, dude, how much key does he have, dog? How much key does he have? Let's move on to the next match right here. Fusion Warriors. Look at this. 2 stars, Gogeta. 2-star Vegito. Oh my gosh. What a disgrace to the Fusion Warriors. Hey, but that's how I was, though. That's how I was. I didn't even have Transforming Yellow Vegito until like the 2nd year anniversary. I think that's when I got him. So, hey, we all start from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Hey, I'm Drake up in this bit. Transform with Gogeta. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going to happen. Pops the green. I'm like, okay, I see you, Kefla. I see you. But I stay in, though. I don't care about type disadvantage. Look at the stat. Look at the difference in stats, Steve. Type disadvantage, and it did that much damage. So I'm like, yeah, I can't blame you, bro. I can't blame you. Against the Fusion Warrior King. This guy's using Future, LF Gohan, Corrupted Zamasu, and the Transforming Green Goku Black. But he ends up bringing this lineup in instead. Goes for a Blast Arts mid-range. I don't know why you would do that when you know that certain characters have Blast Armor. I don't know why. Right here, go for the Strike. Caught him in the side step. I'm going to continue this combo right here. Go for the Blast. He ends up taking into Zamasu. That's one thing I always like doing, right? Now, at this point, I'm anticipating him switching to Gohan, but I'm not going to drop the combos because I'm not really worried about it. Obviously, I have touch disadvantage, so I'm not a big fan on that. I do end up taking that damage right there. I transform. I'm going to pop the green, buff my blue card. Once again, this guy's blue card, dude, it hits like crazy. We'll come in here, do the swipe combo. I drop combo, right? I drop combo. I only do it when I know for a fact that they're going to switch out. When I know for a fact that they're going to switch out. For this case, I knew he was going to switch out because the HP of that character was going too low for his comfort. He didn't want to risk me taking him out within the next card, so he just decided to switch out. He goes for a tackle. I end up waiting, but at this point, he catches on to that. He knows, okay, he's just going to wait for me to sidestep, so I'm just going to go for my attack straight away. He's not going to be anticipating that. Pops his main ability, goes for a green, but he ends up messing up, right? Because then I can just tag into this guy. Even without type disadvantage, I'll be able to just use my main ability, heal up. He uses the ultimate. I got type advantage still. Boom. It's cool. Nothing ever happened. I go for the strike cancel. Go for that. Boom, 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 boom. That's one good thing to do. One good habit you should pick up on. Strike canceling. You can only do strike cancels at long range. That is the only time you can do strike cancels. So you click on a strike guards, then you swipe to the left or right during the animation traveling to your opponent, and then it will stop it. And from there, one of two things will happen. Your opponent will go for their own strike to clash with you. They'll go for a sidestep, in which then you can use maybe a tackle or a blast to make them vanish. That will not be a perfect vanish. If you make them sidestep on that canceled strike, they won't get a PV because they're already beginning that sidestep animation. They're in the middle of it, or they're just about finishing it. He ends up going for a rush right here. It's whatever. And the next thing you'll be able to possibly get is them going for a long range blast when you're doing that strike cancel. And if they do that, you'll actually be able to vanish it and maybe get a PV off of that as well. So right here, I go for the tackle. I make him vanish. You can kind of get away with a little bit more when you're in the upper hand. So right here, I have Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan Gogeta pretty much at completely full health, right? So I'm not really caring too much because I can lose Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I could care less about him. If I were to get rushed again, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta would be out of here. So you want to learn who you want to prioritize as well. But this guy's right here is using Vegeta family with Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan Goku. It's pretty weird, but it's whatever. So that's one thing too, like I said. You want to prioritize who is more important in your team. So out of these three right here, my Zenkai 7 Gogeta, Purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, out of these three, how would you order them in importance? If you were bringing them into this fight and you were going to get rushed, or one of them is going to take a full-on ultimate and die, who would you want to die? Who is the least important here? Who fulfills their role the least? That's what you want to keep in mind every time you're going into a PvP battle. Who's going to be fulfilling their role the most and the most well, right? And if you see, okay, so my blue unit just took out a red unit. He's done. He's fulfilled his role. I don't care if he gets Rising Rush. I have my other two units. They're both yellow and green. I'm going to use them to take out the blue and the purple that they have. So my blue unit, you can die. You can get Rising Rushed. Or if they do Rising Rush me, I'm going to just tag into you, have them take you out. So it's another tip right there. Prioritize who is your most important unit on your team and who is the least important one. Who would you not mind letting take all that damage in a Rising Rush? Or who would you not mind dying in that Rising Rush? Just keep that in mind. I go for the long range blast, go for the tap attack. That's one thing too. Make them vanish. Go for the tap attack straight away if it's possible. If you don't really want to risk it, more often than not, they're going to be waiting for you to sidestep. At this point in time, rarely are they going to go for an attack right away unless they've figured out your pattern. Unless they've figured out your pattern, they're going to wait for you to sidestep. That is just one of the most common things everybody knows by now. So you yourself, you have to be vigilant of that. Make sure that they're not trying to be sneaky. All right, they can't be sneaky with you. So I go for a blue, thinking it's a sidestep, but nah, it's just him gliding. He goes into a full-on combo here. He's gonna pop his main ability, isn't he? Oh, he goes for a dude. This guy. Get out of here. You're trash. Oh, okay, he gets it off. What a surprise. Though. It's cool. Anyways, let's see what happens right here. So I go for the Rising Rush myself. Is he going to be able to dodge? Oh, yeah, I made advantage, didn't I? Yeah. All right, bet. So now I don't really care about what happens here. I mean, even with this damage, I like it. But we end up getting it off too, so it's a rush for a rush. Oh yeah, I also want to talk about this. I rage, bruh. Sometimes in certain games, when my rush gets guessed, I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? My rush gets guessed, but his doesn't. How does that work? But it's whatever, though. I just do some push-ups, and that gets the anger out of me. That's it, though. Go for a blast right here. Boom. Hey, exactly. If you haven't watched it yet, watch Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha 1. I made it myself. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro.